Hello guys, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. As some of you remember, I did a little review of this kit back a week or so ago and was singing its praises and saying how lovely it is. And it's selling out fast. I've noticed e-models don't have it anymore. I don't think anyone other than Scale Model Shops got it. And there's some on eBay that are more expensive than everyone else. And they are getting, so there's one for £150 I think from China. So I mean, this kit is going up. But buyer beware, if you get this kit, what I found out since I did my review, the first editions had the M117 gun in resin and brass. Anything after didn't. So if you've got this kit and you've got the resin gun and you're in the UK, if you want to lend it to me, I can take a mould off it and then I can make my own gun. So if you would be so kind, I'd be grateful. Let me know please in the comments below, or drop me an email, nigelsmodelingbench@gmail.com. That's 2 L's in modelling. So yeah, I did a review, and at the moment, as you know, I'm building this Vulcan sneak preview. We're waiting for things to dry, well ahead of the videos that you've seen. And basically, while I'm waiting for this nose joint to dry, I thought I'll go through the instructions, because if you remember when I did the review, when you look at the sprue callouts, we've got like 2 lots of rotor blades, we've got 2 rotor heads, we've got 1, 2 floors, we've got lots and lots of glazing, lots of instrument panels and stuff like that. So I thought, well, I'll have a quick look through the instructions and see what we need and what we don't need. What most, the newer modelers out there, what most manufacturers do, this is, for instance, this is Dragon, this is a JS1, JS2, and you can see what they do here. They give a little blue square down, parts not for use, and then they shade out the parts. Now normally with Dragon kits you would get a lot of, this is actually Cyber Hobby, but they're actually Dragon. Usually with Dragon you get a lot of extra parts in the box, lots and lots of them, sometimes more parts not used than used, because they'll have, like in a Sherman, there'll be a back plate on a sprue with all the suspension on it, and yet you're doing an E8 and it's all the old-fashioned suspension, the old type suspension, VVS versus HVSS, you know. So yeah, Dragon often give you a lot of spares, so that's how they identify it. And then you've got, here there's an Academy Huey, and then you've got, this is what Tamiya do, they've written unused parts. You've got B44 × 1, E1 to E5, so those parts you can identify are not used. So what you can generally do is go through, clip them off, put them in your spares box, and then you know you're not going to make a mistake, because sometimes you'll get parts that look very, very similar and you end up using the wrong part when you discover it's not used. So sometimes it's going to cut them out. So I went through the instructions. Okay, you can look through the instructions and found quite a few mistakes. Like for instance, you've got this one here, E16 goes in, no mention of that one, which is already in there. And then there's a lot of misnumbered parts, like you'll have H9 is correct. We're going through, there'll be a lot of parts that are denoted as D something and they're actually HD. You also need to be careful with the clear parts. The clear sprue, I'll show you here, the clear sprue here, GP, is 2 sprues joined together, and if you look closely, this one says MH60 and this one says S60, SH60. So this is the Seahawk sprue and this is the Mohawk sprue. Okay, so you need to be very, very careful what you're doing, because there's like, these are all numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. So for instance, that there, those 2 parts there are the same as those 2 parts there, but they're GP 2 and 3 and they're GP 4. This is GP 4 and there's GP 5, I think, that one there. So you've got to be really careful which one you're using. Okay, so bear that in mind. But also there's part numbers. I remember on the on here, PE21, I don't think that is a piece of photo etch, I think that's a moulded part. This here, D10, I think that's HD10. Am I right or wrong? No, I'm not, I'm wrong there. There you go, I've got D10 there and D10 there. Well, that's D12, I think. So be very, very careful. And then as you're going through, you will find pieces like, I can't spot it now, but there is a part that's numbered P something, and there's no such sprue as P. So, and you have to be careful as well, because also I'm noticing that there are D25. Sorry, no, that's D45. I thought it was the same part number. Here are P61. Okay, that is actually where was it? I did spot it. It's actually D61. Okay, and you get a lot of parts, as I say, numbered D, and they should be HD. So just be careful. So anyway, going back to the subject in hand, I want to identify the unused parts. So I went through the instructions and I've identified the unused parts, and there we go. So I hope you can see that full in the screen. Okay, so if we move the camera, then you can freeze frame or whatever, and you can look at that for yourself. And that is the unused parts. Only I've done it backwards. I've actually crossed out the used parts. So you can see the amount of spares you're getting. All this Sprue F is all guns. This is all guns and gun mounts and ammo belts, and it's all artillery and stuff. Here you've got the towed array thing, and you've got it looks like a drop tank there. You've got all the racking there to hold the props, the blades up if you want to do them stashed. You've got spare floors, so if you've got the Academy kit, you could super detail, because I think the Academy kit is fairly simple. You've got spare roof, spare floor. You've got doors, loads of glazing for the doors and everything. That big beam there, I'm not sure what that is. And it's just loads. If you had another pair of fuselage halves, I reckon you could almost build another helicopter. Seriously, it's the rotor heads. Unfortunately, you've got the rotor heads for the Seahawk and the rotor heads for the Mohawk, and I call them Mohawks. That may be wrong, but this is basically the much more complex rotor head than that one. Unfortunately, it uses some of the parts from this one, so either you could take a resin mold off of those, and then you could have a beautifully detailed rotor head on your Academy kit, because I think again the Academy kit is quite simple in that area. I haven't looked at the photo etch parts as to what's used and what isn't. I would imagine it's all used, because I think the photo etch is dedicated to each kit. But there we go. It's just loads and loads of stuff. And the other thing I noticed when I was looking through here that I didn't pick up on in the review is when you get to the back, these guns are beautiful. They're really, really nice. Separate barrels and everything. Look, going together. Okay, and then they've got the ammo chutes there coming out the sides, and then they're mounted both sides. You can have them hanging out like this. Okay, and you can have the guns mounted on the sides there. You could turn this into a proper gunship. So yeah, but I don't know about these air intakes. They're not featured on the box front. They're not featured in any of the colour callouts. So I don't know about them. And also the exhausts look a bit different on the actual thing to what we've got in the instructions. So I'm not going to go taking parts off the sprue and using them, because I don't think I'm going to use them, because the instructions I think have got errors. But that's just to show you how many extra parts you get with this model. So if you haven't got one of these yet, and you're a keen modeler, and if you like helicopters, I would go and get one, because as we all know, Kitty Hawk are gone, and I think these are probably the finest helicopter kits on the market today. They're absolutely amazing, and there's a whole range of them. Go take a look. There's loads of them, and they're all lovely. So yeah, that's that for that. I just thought I'd show you that, because I thought that might interest some of you. Bye for now.